Welcome to another edition of The End is...
Sigh?
That's not a question. That is a direct response, and it is Sigh. Sigh for everybody, every day, everybody. One come, one all. I just ran out of breath.
Master of the circus?
Yes, come one, come all to The End is Sigh, where things are chaotic, but chaotic neutral, right? That makes sense? Chaotic neutral?
Yeah, it does. That's a D&D term.
Oh, that's probably why I didn't think that on my own. I think I stole that from Baldur's Gate or something. Anyway, guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm Todd. This is...
Nate.
I was going to introduce you, but I felt like it's like when you're at a restaurant and you order for somebody, they'll have the... I don't want to be like, and this is Nate over here.
Just like, I don't think I've ever ordered for someone at a restaurant. I don't think I've ever been like, you know what? They're going to have this.
It seems rude as fuck.
I mean, the only thing where I think it's maybe something you do is for kids. But even then, like if I have my nieces, I'm like, you guys are old enough. You can order your own food.
Yeah, it's chicken tenders and mac and cheese. Like then you're good. It's the same fucking meal. But that's not a knock on chicken tenders. We are chicken tender connoisseurs here.
Yes,
I think I said connoisseurs. I added an extra D in there, but don't read into that. Yes, this is The End is Sigh. Nate, why are we called The End is Sigh?
We are The End is Sigh because it's Todd's favorite thing to make meaning out of the meantime.
Just mine?
That's what we're here doing. Yeah, just yours.
No, you don't like making meaning out of the meantime? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, you always hold a whip and you're like, all right, say it.
Breaking news. Boop, boop, boop. Nate doesn't make meaning out of the meantime. It's just Todd. Boop, boop, boop. Is that a I should like get professional and drop it in actual breaking news drop, but I'll just use, my incredible skills for that.
I think that was professional enough for us.
I think so. It's right on par. It's chaotic neutral for us. And what do we do on this pod, Nate? Not just what the name is. Why are we here?
We're here because we're talking about movies. And then from those movies, we're taking themes. And then we bullshit our way through those themes.
It's true. Nate likes to really set the stage. He doesn't want to give us too much credit. So when we fumble, you guys go, "Oh, that's just them." Don't listen to this thinking you're going to come out of this going, "Holy shit, you blew my fucking mind." Although that is the hope for some things, it won't happen every time. We just hope we give you a little bit more insight into the world around you. And my new favorite thing is to say we read the articles so you don't have to, and we've done that again. By God, we've done it again.
Yeah. Can't read while you're driving.
Oh. For this episode, we are talking about the themes that we gleaned from last week's episode, which was The Family Man with Nick Cage, Tia Leone. If you haven't listened to that, yeah, go ahead, go give it a shot. If you haven't watched it, fucking do that. It's just a few days after Valentine's Day. It's still, love is still in the air. Go enjoy that. But before, did we already say what the topics were?
Nope, we have not.
Shit.
This week, I am tackling Valentine's Day.
And I'll be tackling Fate.
Very nice.
Very nice. Like you just tasted a nice sweet treat at the table. That's delectable, actually.
Yeah. I'll have another.
I'll take Fate. Yes. Yeah, so we'll get into those in just a little bit here. But before that, Nate, anything going on from the last week? Anything you'd like to get off your chest? Anything that grinds your gears?
I don't have anything at the moment.
Perfect, because I do.
All right, let's hear it.
I will say it's needed. Because my philosophy at this point in America and the world at large is that silence is compliance, if that makes sense. And I have a movie reference to back this up with a little flair. And this is from the Boondock Saints, which I think is still an underrated movie. People, it's like the frat guy movie, blah, 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 whatever. There is a scene that I think starts the movie out, and it's the Monsignor talking to the congregation, and the two brothers are in there, and this is what the Monsignor is saying. He says, "And I am reminded on this holy day of the sad story of Kitty Genovese. As you all may remember, a long time ago, almost 30 years ago, this poor soul cried out for help time and time again, but no person answered her calls. Though many saw, no one so much as called the police. They all just watched as Kitty was being stabbed to death in broad daylight. They watched as her assailant walked away. Now we must all fear evil men, but there is another kind of evil which we must fear most, and that is the indifference of good men. That's a great start to a movie and a great lesson right out the gate.
Yeah, it is. It's very prevalent to what's happening now.
Yeah, what's going on around us. So, I mean, there's a lot of, on social media, if you've got a favorite influencer or somebody that has a platform and doesn't say anything, like, AKA fuck fuck ICE, fuck Trump, fuck, I don't know, a lot of things. How specific do I need to get? I think those are good blanket ones. But if the people aren't saying that and they have a platform, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Either too scared or they're complicit.
Yep.
So
it's not good times at all right now, and it's one of those where stuff we're talking about could be dated, but at the same time it needs to be brought up constantly because sadly it's where we're at in the state that we're in.
Yeah, even if this isn't happening, I mean it's happening every day, and I'm sure by the time this comes out it's still happening. Or what I think about is like, what has happened since we last aired an episode, right? Like, what has happened between now and when the next one comes out? And we're not keeping quiet or not saying anything because we don't care. It's just the logistics of podcasting sometimes, but it's, it's just like the world is happening so quickly. Did I say the world is happening so quickly? Bad things in the world are happening so quickly while the world is happening quickly. And it's hard to keep up with, and it sucks. And you need good people to stand up and be the good person, because otherwise you slide into some bullshit very fast. And we were seeing that, and it's always darkest before the dawn, as a Florence and the Machine once said. But we're still getting to the dark as far as this moment in time right now.
Yeah, which really sucks because it's gotten very dark.
Yeah, we don't need to go into the specifics, but you all know them if you've even so much as poked your head outside and aren't living under that proverbial rock. So yeah, protect your neighbors, do the right thing. Remember, you don't want to die in a Sigh way and be remembered as a piece of shit. That's all I'll say. So,
yep.
Anyway, that was not as fun as our usual ones, but again, we're not always fun. We're just two guys podcasting and sharing life as it happens. So here we are. And anything on the lighter side, or should we just move into topics? I'll leave that up to you.
I got nothing else on the lighter side. Honestly, I want to let it fester. Sadly, we do have to think about these things.
Yep. Can't put our heads in the sand, which ostriches do not do, for the record. That's my way of lighting it up.
That was a way to light it up.
But yes, anywho, also go watch The Boondock Saints. That's an early recommendation. It's not my recommendation, but it's also one. It's a great movie. But yeah.
Maybe that's what we do on the pod eventually, right? It's a good one.
I think eventually, yeah. I think I don't have it on the upcoming list, but it has it. We have to re-up that list at some point, and I know it's been in my mind as adding to it. So yeah. That was actually, shout out to my older brother. He introduced me to that movie way back in the day when it came out. He had like the VHS, and I was like, what is this? And I just watched it on my own, and I was like, oh, I see. And right now, I actually have a poster on my wall. I can look at it right now, and it's the Boondock Saints poster, and it's the two brothers holding the guns, and it's got Veritas Aequitas, and it's got signed by the director and a quote from Troy Duffy. Even though Troy Duffy, for all intents and purposes, is a huge piece of shit, he made a good movie. We see that happen a lot. Pieces of shit make good movies. Sorry, it's just, there's art and then there's personality, and they don't always coalesce. But anywho,
nope.
But yeah, anyway, back to business, baby. Back to why this pod exists. Topics.
Love.
And do you want to start us off? Oh, yes, love. We this podcast exists for love.
Yes, such as Valentine's Day.
Nate, did you roll your eyes? I think I caught. Oh, yeah, you sighed. Okay, well.
Yep. We're here to talk about Valentine's Day, and I guess, Todd, what's your thoughts on Valentine's Day?
I'll explain this as you rub your eyes in your forehead like a classic villain or somebody just like about to explain his evil monologue. Yes, rub your hands together. Okay. I understand why people hate Valentine's Day, and I get why they love it. I get both sides. I don't care if it didn't exist. All right, my life doesn't change. I'm not going to fight for it. I'm not, whatever, it's gone. But I do enjoy sometimes forcing the mundaneness of life to like spark it up a little bit. I think that's what holidays do in general. Like if we didn't have Christmas or Thanksgiving or even 4th of July, like these months would just come and go, and it would just be like, okay. Like you need something of some sort of marker, and I think Valentine's Day does a good job for. I don't know, not in the commercial sense. It does great for commercial, capitalism, blah blah blah. But I think just for like relationships, like gives you a reason to go splurge on an extra expensive dinner, or go into the city, or get a hotel room, or just I don't know, share your love for somebody where it can get mundane. I get why it annoys a lot of people, and couples just simply don't celebrate it. I get that. So
yeah. I get where you're coming from, but it is, commercialized so much. I can't fathom really going to a restaurant to be overcrowded. Yeah. And then obviously the overselling of, well, do you want the candlelight, or do you want the roses, or anything like that? That's such an upcharge. It's just, to me, it's blah.
Oh, blah.
Yeah.
And the truth shall set Nate free over here. Do you guys celebrate Valentine's Day despite your feelings on it?
So I say we don't, but in a sense, yes, we do. We have a tradition on Valentine's Day. All we do is we get Chinese takeout, and that's it.
That's still romantic in its own way, and you do it for that day.
Yeah. We just figured it was easier than actually, let's go to a restaurant, set up reservations, deal with the crowds, deal with the blah. It's just, we'll get our meal, go back home, watch a movie, show, whatever we decide to do.
No, that makes sense. I get that if you're trying to do it around that day, again, like it's being part of something, it's kind of special. Like, hey, what did you do for Valentine's Day? Great, all that. But yeah, when everybody's trying to do it, then everything's upcharged. Everything is booked out, like the reservations. Like, do you want to eat at 10:30 p.m.? Are you thinking of a specific place? Because I picture the Melting Pot, which I think is not just a regional thing, right?
Yeah, I'm picturing Melting Pot as well. Anything such as that. It's weird for some reason. I was thinking Red Lobster is another place that people probably go.
Shout out to my older brother again. He really likes Red Lobster. We used to go for his birthday all the time. But anyway, that's interesting. Red Lobster is like a fancy big place. I mean, they are overpriced. I give you that. That's the correlation there. Although Nate, I don't want to sidetrack you too much on your topic, but I know you hate the Melting Pot. And can you just let the listeners know why you hate it? Because I like the Melting Pot, but I understand your pain.
The Melting Pot, it's good. I think only for cheese and chocolate. Everything else is bullshit. I'm sorry. You're going there to, like, congrats to the Melting Pot. They have done such a good job of marketing a restaurant where they don't have to have actual grills or cooks. They just have a cold storage. They don't have to worry about the logistics of cooking anything and making sure it's at the right temperature. They just go through and give you your raw food where you dip it in your little like fondue and you cook it. And the fact that you're paying so much more to cook your own fucking food is absolutely insane.
See what happens when I get Nate on a topic he actually cares about. I can't even cut him off. That's how much he was just going. Hey, guys, if you want more of Nate's Corner, let me know and we'll make it a segment. But yes, Nate hates that you're cooking your own food and then getting charged out the ass for it. The fondue, though, you're right. The cheese fondue and the chocolate. I remember they did like Odell's Brew. They did like a mix with the chocolate. That was like a seasonal thing. It was so fucking good. I still remember it. And this was probably like 2 decades ago, man. It was so good. But yeah, they also did it for the cheese. Yeah, anyway, it's a whole catered meal to a local brewery, and it was amazing. But yes, you add fucking the salad and the drinks whatsoever onto there, and it's insanely priced. Yeah.
Yep. I did recommend it to a coworker one time. I'm like, you're going to spend some money. And then he came back at me like, what the fuck were you doing? I hated that experience. And I'm like, well, glad you hated it.
Oh, hated it. Was it for your reason?
He went all out. He did the petals and all that too. And he's like, it's insane how much extra like the rose petals were.
Did they not think it would be?
I don't think he did.
Nate's coworker, if you ever find yourself on this podcast, what were you thinking? What are you doing over there? Budget.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
So yeah, back to Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Todd, you worked retail. I worked retail, both in the grocery store.
Yep.
How many times Valentine's Day you see people coming in last minute trying to get shit?
Oh, all the time. So especially like the floral department. I had the pleasure of working in the floral department multiple Valentine's Days, and the last minute bouquets and it's always dudes. It's always, I don't want to be like, it's weirdly, because you're like, it shouldn't be, right? It's not stereotypical. It's going to be women and everything going in. It's always fucking dudes. And they're always going at the last second with the bouquet, a flower, a teddy bear, maybe a vase. I mean, I did it when I was younger, paying out the ass for like a full decorated vase with the ribbons, and the last minute hubbub is crazy because at that point, it's just performative. Like, oh, you got me flowers, but you literally just got home from the store the night of with flowers. You obviously didn't think ahead of this. You just did, oh, shit, that's what everybody else is doing. Or you walked in to get something else and went, oh, shit, I need to get flowers. Like, it becomes that.
Yeah, no, it's insane how many people last minute shop on that day. Same day every year. Nothing changes. You know it's coming up. How many times you see people in the card aisle always trying to figure out what card should I get? Which is also another thing that's bullshit. I'm sorry. Just write out something meaningful. Go back to our movie that we did last week, Nicolas Cage. He sang a song as a gift. There wasn't any monetary value.
La, 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 means I love you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do anything extravagant, just something meaningful.
Yeah, and I guess what is tough, like the flowers, how do you get them the day before and hide them and make sure that they don't get ruined, right? So while I'm like knocking on them, I do get like flowers are kind of sensitive, but you could do it early in the day. You could do it the night before, whatever. There are ways around that. The cards, yeah, that is egregious because you're always getting bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
You're getting now, dude, I don't even know I should admit this. It's so embarrassing. In a previous relationship, yeah, Nate's all ears. In a previous relationship, I went into the card aisle, and this was days before, I believe, at least the day before. It wasn't like the night of. And I was like, oh, I want to get a Valentine's card. So I'm looking through, and there's got the red card section, right? And I'm like, oh, love, da-da-da. I grab it, I go home, and I realize it's a birthday card. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't walk my way out of this one. So I had to cross out every time it said birthday and make a fun little game of it. Like, oh, how cheeky. That did not go over well. It was not. I didn't blow smoke up anybody's pants or dress or whatever. That was embarrassing, and I've always felt bad about that. Like, it sucks. So don't do what I did. Read the card clearly. Just because it says love and it's red does not mean it's a Valentine's Day card. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's definitely ways around it. I have once gone through and helped deliver flowers for a floral shop on Valentine's Day. It is insane how many deliveries we made in that day to different houses.
Oh, I bet. The
amount of money that people spent on flowers was absolutely insane.
Do you know how much somebody has spent on it? Like, do you remember, like, just...
One of them was like... It was multiple bouquets, though. And it was around like $400 is what they spent on it.
Is that... I mean, that's crazy even no matter what's in it. But, like, was it like a full... Like
it was massive.
Roses and all that shit?
Yeah, no, it was two different ones because it was for a mother and a daughter.
Aww.
A little more backstory on this, though, is when we got there to deliver the flowers, it was really nice neighborhood. We got up to the house, and the person I was with, she was very straightforward of like, this is a really nice house. Can we see it? I was like, oh my gosh. And she's like, yeah, come on in. So she gave us a little bit of the backstory on the house to where originally it was just a ranch style house. They added on a second floor for it. The original owner was the person that started Otterbox. So it was like, okay, makes sense. But just absolutely insane.
I'm annoyed and admire people with that kind of blasé to social interactions, right?
Yeah.
I want to do this. Okay, it's like, maybe don't. Like, I guess you got the tour, and if she hadn't asked, you wouldn't have gotten it, but,
Yeah, still just crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's crazy because Valentine's Day is the second like biggest holiday behind Christmas for cards and just small gifts and such as that.
What is it? It's the Hallmark holiday, people like to call it. Like, it is created by the candy companies and Hallmark. And so it's almost like Easter, the day after Easter, or Halloween, I should say. It's probably the better comparison, is that the candy that's on sale, or used to be, like the 75% discount on chocolate hearts and the giant bunnies and shit. Damn, that's Easter as well. Do you get giant bunnies for Valentine's Day? Probably giant, like, teddy bears.
Yeah, I'd say teddy bears. Stuffed animal, that was always a cliche gift, too. There's a stuffed animal, the hearts, chocolates, and then flowers.
I bought those before. Yeah, I bought all that before.
Have you ever finished a box of chocolates?
No. I didn't like all the chocolates in there. They're like a really dark chocolate I can't stand, a coconut chocolate, fuck it. The cherry that's in the chocolate, excuse me, no thank you. There's cream-filled ones that are just garbage. No, man, I need just like the milk chocolate solid one with maybe a drizzle of caramel, and we're golden. I've also never finished a full chocolate bunny, but I remember getting those as a kid all the time, and you're like, this is amazing. You eat one ear, and you're like, I'm going to puke, man. Like, I can't eat the rest of this fucking thing.
Yeah, so you're talking the oversized ones. I had like the small, like, little bunnies that are hollow, but not the big ones.
I'm thinking the big guys. That could be like makeshift piggy banks if you really wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I think we've kind of got into what Valentine's Day is. But we'll get into the legend of St. Valentine.
Whoa. Sounds like a badass. A real Billy badass.
So it's weird because there's about 3 different ones. So the Catholic Church recognizes at least 3 different saints named Valentine or Valentinus, all of whom were martyred.
Hold on. Martyred?
Martyred. Yep, I forgot the R.
You might want to repeat that unless you want to leave that in there. Maynard sounds really interesting.
We'll leave it interesting. Guys, I forgot the R.
Okay.
Todd, well, you might not like it, but it's there.
I know. Now I can't edit around it. You foiled me. All right, go on.
One legend contends that Valentine was a priest who served during the 3rd century in Rome. When Emperor Claudius II decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families, he outlawed marriage for young men.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, the logic's there. It makes sense.
Yeah. Valentine, realizing the injustice of the decree, defied Claudius and continued to marry couples in secret. When Valentine's actions were discovered, Claudius ordered his execution. Or others insist St. Valentine of Internma, which is modern-day Ternia, Italy. A bishop is the true namesake of the holiday. He too was beheaded during Claudius II's reign for refusing to renounce his faith and converting new followers.
So there's a lot of deaths. Valentine was beheaded.
Yeah.
By Claudius.
Yeah, the second.
Sorry to besmirch Claudius the First. Claudius the Second was the douchebag. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, did you hear me hit the mic?
Nope.
Well, great. Can't edit that out either. All right, keep going.
Other stories suggest Valentine might have been killed for attempting to help Christians escape the harsh Roman prisons, where they were often beaten and tortured. According to one legend, an imprisoned Valentine actually sent the first Valentine greeting himself after he fell in love with a young girl, possibly his jailer's daughter, who visited him during his confinement.
Scandalous. What is this, a fucking sequel to the Pirates of the Caribbean type thing? Like, I mean, this is a whole thing.
Right.
The jailer's daughter, and he sent. So, I mean, both could technically be true, right?
Yeah.
He could have been put in prison and done something like that before he was beheaded. Doesn't necessarily mean he was saving Christians from persecution or whatever, but
no, yeah. Before his death, it is alleged that he wrote her a letter signed from your Valentine, an expression that is still used today. While the truth behind the Valentine legend is murky, the stories all emphasize his appeal as a sympathetic, heroic, and most importantly, romantic figure.
I mean, it's pretty romantic to write a letter in jail to the jailer's daughter. I mean, that's pretty scandalous if you ask me. How's that not in a modern day smut book? Valentine
sure
gets the V.
So yeah, this is all according to history.com.
They know what they're talking about. They would never lie to us.
Yep. And the other one thing that I found, it's a lot of like kind of crazy. It goes off of like, who is Cupid? And it just talks about Greek mythology of like, oh, it could be the son of Nyx and Cerberus. Others claim parents are Aphrodite and Ares. And like, there's no actual claim of who it is, which is just weird. So I'm not going to get into the details of that. But the one I wanted to get in details of is the origins of Valentine's Day as a pagan festival in February.
Ooh, I like pagan stuff.
So pretty much to begin the festival, members of the Luperci, an order of Roman priests, gathered at a sacred cave where the infants Romulus and Remus were believed to have been cared for by a she-wolf or lupa. The priest then sacrificed a goat for fertility and a dog for purification. After they skinned the goat and made its hide into strips, dipped those into sacrificial blood, and took to the streets, gently slapping both women and crop fields with the goat hide.
Wait, women and crop fields? Women are like, hey, yes. Why me? Like, as if it's
the
fertility?
Reason,
growth?
Yes, yep, it's fertility. Okay. So I was like, okay, makes sense for the crop fields. And then, yeah, women accepted it. They wanted to be slapped by this sacrificial goat hide strip.
I picture them running through the streets scared as these guys are slapping them with bloody strips of meat.
Just completely fucked.
Right, yeah, I do know the story of what you said, Romulus and Remus. It's the sun and the moon that like spin around, and that's even in like God of War and different mythological stories. They're always popping up as like the duality of the sun and the moon, and I think I didn't realize that there was any sort of connection to the pagan ritual of sacrificing animals to then get fertility as part of Valentine's Day stuff. So, yeah, this is why we're here. The more you know.
So yeah, it's kind of a little tidbit on Valentine's, and then also my hate of Valentine and your partial love and hate.
Yeah, I feel like it was 90% Nate sneering and the derision in his facial features and voice of the Valentine's Day, and then a little sprinkling of some pagan mythology in there. Well, this isn't related to Valentine's Day at all, just the movie The Family Man, but I'll take us from V-Day to Fate, which people sometimes, interchangeable with destiny and free will and things like that, right? Like kind of manifest destiny type stuff. And despite, Nate, what I think you're imagining I'm going to talk about is The Fate of the Furious. I'm not going to talk about that movie, but... Spoiler alert, what a horrible fate for the franchise and for those that had to watch that movie. Am I right? Can you see finger guns on the screen? Oh, hey.
I can. He got him, guys. He got him. Will they ever hear this? No.
Here, let me. Yeah, can you hear that? Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. Anywho, Nate, back to real serious stuff. What Wikipedia has to tell me. So sometimes I forgot we used to start with a definition, right? And Wiki says fate, or destiny, as I said, is a predetermined course of events. It may be conceived as a predetermined future, whether in general or of an individual. It is a concept based on the belief that there is a fixed natural order to the cosmos. Ooh, everything's controlled. So, I'll start with the easy question, Nate. Do you think fate exists? Okay, yeah, I didn't even get to finish my fateful message there. You beat me to the end of the story, so I could have guessed that. So maybe I knew you were going to say that. So technically, fate exists. Nate is predetermined path. Everything he's doing now. I or somebody with the reverse of my name has decided. Wait, no, that would be
Todd.
I was going to say a rhyme of my name.
Have you always thought the reverse of your name was God?
No, I know it rhymes with God. Oh, guys. I'm vibing over here. Anywho.
Go on, Dot.
Oh, yeah. God/Dot/Todd. I also don't think that fate is real. I think we're on the same page there, that we are in control of our destiny. But there's the thing about fate. You would never know it, right? Because how some people define it, everything we're doing, we're supposed to do, right? So you can't talk your way out of it. There's no way to unprove it. So then you basically have different philosophies around it. So I started looking at some articles and like different ways people have thought about it. And I started with a story about a physicist. And this is actually from medium.com. And it actually is from the telling of a writer that went on a date with this guy who was a physicist. And he was explaining to her about dark matter and particles and all this. And they didn't get a second date. Spoiler alert for that. But he thinks it's all based on science. And apparently there are dark matter particles passing through us every single second. Like, physicists agree on this. They're little blips in the fold of space and time, jostling their way through every single cell in our body, all completely and utterly unidentifiable. And there's apparently about 1 billion dark particles per second flowing through us. I don't know how they found this or quantify this, but they tend to agree that this is happening. And so basically, he uses that as an introduction, or she goes on to say that he tells me about how cosmic particles from outer space can come down to Earth, and how every once in a while we see the effects. He tells me they're called, quote-unquote, single event upsets. He believes our world is one in which every dream, every vein and thought that crosses our mind is a precise, exact manifestation of the atoms and chemical reactions that started before we were born in the womb, which in turn can be traced back to the flecks of space dust floating in the cosmos, aka the dark matter, before our existence, which then trace back to the stardust that collided in order to birth the galaxy. So they've always flown, they're flowing in a path, and that you can bring it all the way back to being like, well, if they were flowing through here, we can trace that path backwards, so there's always been a flow to everything that's been happening. I get where he's coming from on like a very metaphysical like level, right? Like this whole thing. And so this brought her in her research, and then subsequently, me reading the articles, to Laplace's demon, or Laplace's demon. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, but I think it's French. And it's the concept of an all-knowing demon or being, or whatever you want to call it, that knows the exact position, trajectory, and velocity of every atom, particle, etc. on Earth. And this is like a concept that physicists have gone back even to like Einstein to refute or be. It's almost like a god being. I'm kind of figuring it out as. And this was all explained by the Berkeley lab. The article I read. So if you want to. It's pretty metal. Hell yeah. Berkeley Lab is metal. If you want to read more, Google that shit together. You'll find it. But that, again, that just doesn't really back anything up, right? It doesn't prove anything. You can just say that's basically saying like God knows everything, and then that's that. But I think to make it make sense for me, and that theory was, and I say makes sense in air quotes, right? That the demon or the demon particles or whatever this is flowing in the opposite direction of the dark matter particles that are flowing through us, right? So, meaning it could technically see what we're going to do before we get to it, because if everything's flowing through, it's going backwards through that time stream. It's seeing everything that has moved from it, right? This is so big and grand and insane that I'm talking about, but that's the only way I can make this demon theory, like, not make sense, but like I can tangibly kind of understand it. But they do say that quantum mechanics, of course, like it always does, it ruins everything. But it ruined the demon concept because we can only guess probabilities, and the demon would have to know everything at all the time. So basically it starts with if I give you the trajectory of a ball I'm throwing and the weight, the mass of it, and how fast I was throwing it, right? You can say where it's going to land. You can test this. You can figure out where that object is going to end up, right? But quantum mechanics says that if you were to take a ball and throw it at a wall, you can't always tell what's going to happen to that ball. Will it land in the same spot every time? You can say, oh, there's a 1% chance it hits the corner. There's a 5% chance it bounces back up, and all this. So you can't say anything for certain. It's all guesswork. And apparently Einstein hated that he couldn't guess this. Basically, it was like, God doesn't roll the dice, right? God would know everything specifically, but quantum mechanics is an unprovable thing. So it's like, oh shit. Well, now I can't say that there's like a deterministic view on how physics necessarily work to a certain degree. So I thought that was interesting. And so then I was like, well, from physicists to Christianity, how do they look at it? And I think we all tend to get exposed to how they think about it. But according to Wikipedia, again, our best friend, theological determinism. There's not an, I did an extra ism in there, is a form of predeterminism, which states that all events that happen are preordained and or predestined to happen by one or more divine beings. Right. So these are our Greek gods to our modern whatever, or that they are destined to occur given the divine being's omniscience. Right. So they get to tell you what's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. Theological determinism exists in a number of religions, including Jainism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And I say it's how you control the meek, so to speak. That's a rhyme. Finger guns. So then I had to bring my own kind of opinion into this, obviously. It says, logic would dictate that if God is all-knowing and created me in its image, knows what kind of person I am, what I might do, etc., then I could commit murder and everyone should technically go, yeah, that was supposed to happen. Big deal. Shrug it off. Sucks to be the one murdered, but God wanted that, right? Nothing bad could happen. I can't commit bad things if God created me to do that thing, right? I'm just doing God's will. And if you're following God, like that's where you get into this cycle of bullshit, right? But then then people will say, the devil made you do it. Okay, but then God isn't infallible. God can make mistakes. If the devil can make you do things God didn't want you to do, then who's more powerful? Then God isn't omniscient. God can't determine things. And then the circle jerk continues on to infinity, right? Like it's just the same. Yeah. It comes down to faith, all that. And basically what my fate thing eventually turned into was free will. And it begs the question, what is fate if not the choice to get from A to Z on your or someone else's behalf, right? Like, according to Wiki, again, free will is generally understood as the capacity or ability of people to A, choose between different possible courses of action, B, exercise control over their actions in a way that is necessary for moral responsibility, the murder part, or C, be the ultimate source of or originator of their actions. So again, everything I'm doing now I chose to do, right? You're here doing the podcast, I'm doing the podcast, we're doing it right now, we're not doing it tomorrow, et cetera, right? Or we always had to do it right now. Why? Who fucking knows? But it brought me back to Christianity again, and says that like some of the older verses will like depict otherwise, and they'll say like, "Oh, God says I have to do this," or "The Lord takes the step for me that I then follow." Like God, like there's a lot of leaning into that God doesn't let you make free will choices. The very idea that it's all part of God's plan is immediately contradicted in the early pieces of the Bible itself. And that is Eve having to choose to disobey God by taking the apple. Right? So, yep. And if I'm just an incest baby from her and Adam, then I can choose the apple or the fig leaf or do anything like that, right? Like, if she had to make a choice for God to determine the rest of life, wouldn't that mean everybody has a choice? Or she's the only one? Why would that be the case? I just like how there's inconsistencies, right? But I'm getting into knocking on Christianity, and that's not what I want to be doing here. I can save that for the rest of my life. So I moved from Christianity over to the Greeks. The Greeks gave us all the good philosophy shit. Socrates, Aristotle, all that. And speaking of Aristotle, he had a problem with a lack of free will thanks to what they call compatibilist free will. These words are huge, guys. I feel like Nate over here. And compatibilist
no, you don't want to feel like me.
Compatibilist free will means that because we can in fact take control over certain things, like making this pod right here, right now. And that's our freedom to choose, right?
Yeah.
If I held a gun to your head or something, made you do something, you don't have free will at that point. I have free will. Do you see how I made both points at the same time? How it gets real contradictory real quick.
Yeah.
But if you're sticking with me in this crazy train, I got to take away your free will, which means I have free will, right? That's literally like I can't My God, do you understand what I'm saying?
I get where you're getting at, yes.
Guys, it gets crazy. And again, because everything about fate and free will and all this contradicts itself so often, it's hard to keep it on track, right? Because everything means everything. Anyway, the Greeks, Aristotle said that, but you can hand wave it. That's how you get faith, et cetera, et cetera. I'll kind of wrap up with the idea that fate and destiny are getting interchanged, right? Like I said, it's the same thing, fate and destiny. They do apparently have differences. They're slight in how they're finished, though. So fate means that it was always decided. You would always get to point Z. Think of like the fates, the quote unquote, like in movies or games like Hades. Like you always see the fates, and they're weaving the tale for you. It's always like they're making the story before you get to it. Destiny is seen as more positive. So maybe like when it comes to like the Family Man, maybe I should have focused on destiny, not fate. But here we are. We're at the end of this, and I looked up fate. Okay, but it's essentially a known outcome someone should have, but they need to make the right choices in the present to get there. That's where you get stories like God of War, like 2018 and beyond, right? You have to make certain choices to get to fate or destiny to play out the way it is. Does that making sense to you on just a human talking level?
Yes, it's making sense as far as how you're going about it.
Like Destiny says, you will become the hero of the kingdom. You need to get this sword and do this, right? But you still have to go do those first parts before you get to be the hero of the kingdom. So you still have to make the choice to do them, which is all the classic heroes' journeys in movies, right? That's like really what that boils down to. And I did say lastly I was going to finish with that, but I will finish with Nietzsche or Nietzsche, or however you want to say, the philosopher Nietzsche. He has the concept of amor fati, and it's a Latin phrase that may be translated as quote unquote love of fate or love of one's fate. And this is also used, this term, amor fati or fati, was used by Marcus Aurelius, the Greek philosopher Epictetus, which his name is Epic in it, which is pretty cool. But it's used to describe the attitude in which one sees everything that happens in one's life, including suffering and loss, as good, or at the very least, necessary. So basically, you can't have the sweet without the sour, or, so you must appreciate the sour. Like everything happens. So even when bad things happen, you're like, well, that was good because I needed that for growth, or that was all part of life. And that's a tough one to swallow, right? That's a tough pill to swallow and say like, oh, somebody that is in pain or dies or something. You're not gonna be like, well, I'll have to see the good in that. They suffered, but man, life is good. Like you really have to. I don't know how people can live this, but I know people do try to do that. Now there's they call it the yes sayers, and that reminds me of the movie Yes Man, where you just say yes to everything. Like yes, it's always good. So I'm torn on that, but whatever. I'll thank my neighbor for waking me up at 3 a.m. because apparently I was supposed to wake up and look at my phone at 3 a.m. That was something I had to do in this life. But as fate would have it, we're at the end of my fate segment. That was, guys, it's always messy. It's never clean, but that's why you love us or hate us.
Yeah, I guess, going through that. The only fate that you can believe in is death, and that's it.
Ooh, and it's sometimes Sigh?
Sometimes Sigh.
Sometimes. Yes, the destiny is that. I'm saying destiny and fate. The fate is that we're all gonna croak, and that sucks. But that's, you can't escape it. Name one person, and don't say Jesus. Don't you? I swear to God, don't say Jesus.
That has escaped death.
Yeah.
You got nothing.
David Blaine. I nailed it. Okay.
So, don't give that to him. You guy's already full of himself as it is.
There he is. Go sit in a glass box, you son of a bitch. But yeah, that's it for the topics, guys. Before we roll merrily along into recommendations, what movie will we be doing next week that we will eventually grab topics from?
Next week, we are going over Crazy Stupid Love.
Yes, we are. That is a Nate pick, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I own it too, so I think finally we're coming in at the same page. We've both seen a movie again, and we both like it to recommend it and have owned it, right?
Yeah, it seems to be my picks you have seen. I have not seen your picks.
I'm starting to hit the well here. Yeah.
Well, we'll get there where it's something you haven't seen.
Yeah, no, there's a few. Anyway, guys, we're gonna start rambling, and as we start getting quieter and quieter, and then we lose all steam. But we're gonna bring it back to 11. I did watch This Is Spinal Tap for the first time recently. Loved it.
Is that the second one?
Of course, I was gonna. Nope, that's the Grift Continues. That's the second one.
Oh, okay.
No, I finally saw the first one, and of course I was gonna love it, but I did. Rob Reiner passed away not that long ago. Great movie, dude. Great fucking movie. Great director, great movie, all that. Anyway, you guys know that. Hopefully you know that.
Well, I guess, shall we move on to recommendations?
We shall. You go for it. I've been talking these goddamn listeners' ears off.
I don't want to. Is that my fate? Is it? God damn. All right.
But I'm determining it, right? So.
He's got a gun to my head. He took away my free will.
I am your dot.
So this week I am recommending Green Team Wins. Very simple game. It's designed by Nathan Thornton. It's pretty much a game of you just try to pick the same answer as everyone else. And if you're on the green team, you win. Simple as that.
We played this in Utah.
Yeah. And Todd, I think you won both games.
I did. I fucking crushed it.
Yeah, he thinks like everyone else.
No, I know how... that's not what that means. That's not what that means. I'm better at games when I can play off other people.
Yeah, but real simple. It's 3 to 12 players. And the one thing about this, it says it takes about 15 minutes to play, and it's the one game that stays on track with 15 minutes.
It's true. It's a quick clip.
Yeah, so that's my recommendation. What you got for us, Todd?
I love it. That's a good one. Because, as it is every February, it is Black History Month. I recently watched Selma, and it's, man, I think it was up for maybe it was up for an Oscar during its release year, but it is a stacked cast. It's so well acted, and obviously there are countless people to honor for their work in civil rights. There's only a few that literally need no introduction, and this includes Martin Luther King Jr., who is the focus of this story, and he is played by David Oyelowo, and it's directed by Ava DuVernay, and it's specifically about the Selma to Montgomery marches in Alabama in 1965, and it's the lead up and result of those marches through basically backwater Hick territory with just asshole racists of thousands of people that were protesting to get fair voting rights for African American citizens, because while they had the quote unquote right to vote, they were harassed and obstructed from doing so. And it was we need to be able to vote to make change, to get people in power that represent us and not just the scared old white guy. And it was just, I'm so glad I watched it. It's been on my want to watch list for a long time, and I don't know why I didn't. I think when it comes to heavier movies or movies that might be around real life stories, there's a big hesitation, because it's what do I want to get into? But I think this is a really good one if you want to kind of, celebrate Black History Month. I think it's a good one. So, Selma.
Okay. I feel I get what you're saying, though. Heavy movies, it's hard to get in those, because movies, you want it to be an escape from real life, when the heavy movies are about real life and kind of prevalent to what's going on in the world.
Absolutely. And I think I always have that fear, but the second it's on, I'm like, oh, this is great, right? You're in that world, and you're just appreciating the movie and the message, and you're like, well, fuck, I should have done this years ago. Yeah. So just get over that hump, and you'll be fine. But yeah. Well, Nate, with that, do we need to do some ins and outs of the week?
Yeah, I guess we didn't do an ins and outs at the beginning, so go for it.
Oh, was this supposed to be before?
Yeah, we did it at the beginning last time.
No. Nope. On my thing, it's at the end of the side quest. It's at the beginning of the movie.
Shit.
That's right. Read the document, yes.
I don't have my notes on me.
All right. What is in for this week? I'll try and make them quick. Is the company Tushy. They make bidets, and their copywriting seems like the funnest job in the whole goddamn world. Everything is a pun. If you go to return a bidet, it says change of fart. And then you're like, okay. But everything on their website, the copy, everything, it's just, I love it. I would love to copyright that. But yeah, and I recently was asked about what brand I would represent on a company meeting, and I mentioned Tushy, and then I Googled that after that, and if you just Google Tushy, about the third result down is Tushy.com, hardcore anal 4K, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know what kind of rabbit hole I set my coworkers on, but I never brought it back up to them again because I don't want to know. And if they looked it up, I don't want them to repeat that to me. So we're just not going to talk about it again. But Tushy, I think it's called Hello Tushy or something like that. That's the actual website because they didn't own Tushy.com. I would have pivoted at that point. But, yeah.
You think it's Hello Tushy?
I think it's Hello Tushy. Or
okay, just make sure you get the listeners on
guys,
the right one.
Don't Google Tushy. Just be safe and don't do it. What's out? Yeah, so what's out is not Googling. I mean, honestly, I don't care. I'm not going to yuck your yum. Google the anal hardcore 4K. I don't care shit. But what's out is this is a random nitpick. Maybe it's a sign of the times. But do we have to do the national anthem before every single game? Every single one? International, like other countries, they will also do the anthem during some of their games, but they usually do it for like the large championship games or whatever, or international games. And even then, they'll play the opposing team's anthem. We do it for like goddamn T-ball games. It's so annoying that every single game has to have the goddamn anthem. Like we're a bunch of fucking assholes in our first year class doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Anyway, whatever. And by the way, so even if you're in the stadium and they're doing the national anthem out there, we've all got our hats off, our hands are on our hearts. Behind me, fucking Joe's eating a hot dog at the fucking stand behind me, and he's yelling about the change he didn't get. Like, if you're not standing 10 feet in front where you can see the national anthem's going, you're just living your life. Nothing matters. But anyway, that's Todd's ins and outs.
All right. Fair enough.
Nate, where can they find us?
You can find us on all major social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Even email us, I think.
I think you might still be able to. If that exists, Godspeed.
Yeah, you can also, I found out, you can comment on Spotify now. That's a thing. Didn't know that was a thing.
I did see that.
So, yeah, you can comment on there and have a chat. Probably not with me. Probably not with Todd, but maybe someone else.
Yeah, don't fucking chat with me on Spotify.
You can share, all that kind of stuff. If you hate us, tell your enemies so they can despise us too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have this whole thing that I read, and I was like, maybe Nate will read it, and then I immediately, off the bat, he wasn't looking at the screen to read it. So, yes.
Like I said, I don't know where my notes are at.
Yeah, I mean, he got it. Tell those you hate. He started with that. Usually it's tell your friends, tell your family, tell your loved ones, and then, but Nate wants you to just tell the people you hate. I think that's a great message. That's a great one. Just tell them, fuck the rest. We all love you, though. We do. Yep. It's all great. It's all gravy. Anyway. Yeah, well, that's the end, baby. We'll be back next week with Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah, I guess with that, happy birthday. No, Valentine's Day. There we go.
Sneak thievery over here. How dare you? I deserve that, though. I'll forever be shamed. And you know what? But at the end of the day, baby, it's fucking Candyland. Bye.
Goodbye.